Sorry about that, guys. I guess something's going on with my audio with my live streaming, so I'm going to record this video and post it, upload it. But yeah, the title of this video is City of Wayne, Persecution Against Disabled Veteran Continues. I just got notice in the mail a few hours ago. Today is December 26th. I got notice in the mail that the City of Wayne is attempting to violate my probation. I got released from the dungeon after over serving my sentence on December 2nd at 8:30 approximately p.m. And I sought care at my primary care provider in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, on December 5th. Right. So one of the only this was what's crazy. I was sentenced to probation, even though, as you guys know, I had already overserved the sentence. I had the maximum guideline. The maximum guideline allows for 90 days of confinement, and you have good time in Wayne County Jail. For every 30 days that you do, you get 5 days of good time. And so, I did 60 days, and I would have already received 10 days of good time, so that's 70. So then I only have to serve 5 more. So 65 days, plus I get the 10 days of good time, which I've already served. I've overserved that. In total confinement in jail, I've served at least 90 days or more. And so I had already served the sentence. I had already overserved the sentence, and the city insisted that I either take a no contest plea or I'm going to sit in jail for another 2 months, right? So I've already served the sentence, and they're going to keep me in jail pre-trial for 2 more months. And then here's the kicker. I'm acting as my own lawyer. I'm proceeding pro se after the judge told me on the record that it would be very unlikely that I would be appointed another attorney, and the court's already determined I'm indigent. So I can't afford an attorney, and the court would be unlikely to appoint me another attorney, right? And so I must proceed pro se. And so that's where we're sitting at. And the city's saying, nope, we're going to keep him in jail until January 31st, effectively early February. That's the first jury trial that they wanted. They wanted 2 jury trials, and they were going to keep me in jail for 2 more months, 60 more days. So effectively more than doubling the sentence. That would even be legally allowable under the guidelines, right? And so that was rather a shock to the senses, if anything was. And so because I don't want to die in jail, I'm having heart palpitations, and I can't sleep, and I'm not getting proper care, medications, sleep. Not getting none of that, right? I'm literally locked in solitary confinement, wasting away when I've already, I've already served the maximum sentence. I've already overserved it. And they're going to keep me in jail another 2 months. So if that's not cruel and unusual punishment, well, then I don't know what is, right? But then they said, okay, you also have to take probation, right? 18 months of probation. And there were 3 stipulations: 48 hours notice before entering any City of Wayne building, right? And then the other condition was I must report to rehab, or not rehab, but I must report or I must seek mental health treatment within 72 hours, right? I must enter into mental health treatment, right? Which means that I must, go to a doctor and get evaluated by a doctor within 72 hours and have some sort of treatment plan going, right? Obviously, with it being the holiday and with it being mental health, right? A lot of mental health providers are cash only. Very few take government insurance anymore. TRICARE, Medicare, definitely not Medicaid. And being around the holidays, the wait times are pretty long, but that was talked about in the hearing, and what was agreed upon was that I was going to seek and schedule and have some sort of a mental health care plan in place, right, within 72 hours. I was going to get the ball rolling on it, which I did. I went to my doctor on December 5th, and my primary care manager, and she, in order to expedite it, she got me an appointment with the in-house therapist, right? The clinic in which I go to, they have an in-house therapist. And so I said, okay, that sounds good, because she said, otherwise you have to go through me to get a referral, and then you have to get prior authorization through your insurer. And, that could take 1 to 2 weeks just to get the prior authorization approved. But then, of course, you're going to have to wait for that referral and then schedule it then, right? So she said, I can get you something scheduled today before you leave. And I said, oh, that would be perfect. That's exactly what we need. And so we scheduled the appointment the same day. The soonest that we could get in was January 8th. And I submitted the proof to the probation officer, Shannon Shrub, or something like that. SCHRUB, Shrub or something. But I submitted the proof to her. I emailed it to her December 5th, the same day. And I received an email afterwards with the next check-in date, right? Because I had to call her and check in. I don't remember which day it was. I don't remember if it was the 5th or not, or after the 5th. But there was a day in December that I was required to check in, right? And so I did. I called. She didn't pick up. I left a voicemail. I sent an email, and then I, of course, submitted those pictures after my appointment on December 5th, showing like, hey, here's my referral. It's scheduled. Here's my appointment reminder card, right? Like, here it is. And I emailed that, and I didn't hear any opposition to it. The only response I got was, hey, this is when your next check-in date's going to be, January 8th, I believe. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm not thinking anything of it at this point, because I did exactly what I was told to do. And then all of a sudden, the day after I go to a city council meeting, or the day of, my wife and I and my 3-year-old son, we went to the city council meeting. And we spoke at the city council meeting, and, we did our thing. And then the next day, I believe it was the next day, or the same day, or the next day, or the day after, not too long after the city council meeting, they sent me a notice trying to violate, or they began initiating a probation violation notice, right? Saying that I never sought treatment within 72 hours for mental health, or I never entered treatment, or I never, whatever, like I said, the transcript speaks for itself. What was discussed there and what the judge acknowledged was, it's going to be a little difficult to get into mental health. I mean, it's a well-known fact, right? It's an open fact that people kind of expect to be waiting a long time to get in for mental health care. It's just kind of is what it is at this point. It's been that way since COVID. And so, he even acknowledged on the record that it would, likely take several weeks. And then, of course, the holiday season, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, people are on vacation, etc. And so, the agreement was to get scheduled, to go seek the health care of a medical provider, and to have them initiate, a referral, or, get an appointment scheduled, right, to see, outpatient mental health, right? Because, as you guys know, only a doctor could initiate inpatient mental health. And, obviously I didn't meet the criteria for it. I wasn't actively suicidal or homicidal, and I wasn't a danger to myself or others, and I wasn't chemically dependent on any substances. So inpatient was never, an option, right? I mean, I went to the doctor, she evaluated me, and she determined that my heart condition, my heart palpitations was a much more precedence. And she scheduled the outpatient appointment, right? She got that scheduled in-house, right? So she saved me time. And so, I was very thankful. I got a heart monitor and all that. And, I got my appointment, and seemingly everything was fine, and till it wasn't. Till I went to city council meeting, and then me and my wife spoke out, and then they decided that they were going to violate my probation because they claimed I didn't seek treatment or enter treatment within 72 hours, which of course, entering inpatient treatment, I'm not a candidate for it. My insurance is not going to pay for it if it's not medically or clinically necessary, right? If it's not clinically indicated, then they're not going to pay for inpatient. So that wasn't the discussion. That's probably what they're going to try to say, because they're, like I said, they're scum of the earth. These people are fucking complete scum of the earth in every way, shape, and form. From the mayor to the city council, to the city manager, to the city clerk, to the city attorneys, Michael Bosnick, Carolyn Miller, to the judge, Brita O'Leary, right, the 29th District Court, Lori Goyne, all these people, they're all scum of the fucking earth, guys. And they're disingenuous people. They're very disingenuous people, and they like to use these very ambiguous words and then weaponize these ambiguous terms and words against people, and try to paint stories and narratives, and they basically, what they do is they practice sorcery or witchcraft, really is what they do, because they're just trying to cast a spell and paint a narrative and make you out to be something that you're not, right? And thank God, I guess, for Gmail. We'll see if it's enough, because with these people, I don't have any faith. I don't have any faith at all. The fact that the 29th District Court and the 35th District Court has ratified this clearly unconstitutional, these antics and this behavior by the city of Wayne, it's really telling, right? It's really telling. And then the fact that the judge signed off on probable cause for the allegations that I hadn't sought out treatment within 72 hours, right? Which is what the agreement was. The agreement was to go into, mental health treatment, right? To go see a therapist, a counselor, to have some sort of regular contact with mental health. That was what the agreement was. And that's what I did. I initiated that, and, somehow, some way, surprise, surprise, it wasn't enough. So now we're going back to court January 15th, I believe at 10:30 a.m. for this garbage, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, it's just abuse of legal process is what it is. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think this is helpful, because it helps to illustrate just the level, the depths that the city of Wayne is willing to go to fabricate narratives against people, to fabricate, just a complete lie, and just act very disingenuous and try to, just try to master void for vagueness is what the city of Wayne is masters in. They're the masters of void for vagueness, and using ambiguous language and ambiguous enforcement against people, and they're just dirty shitbag people. They're pieces of shit, and that's why I've always maintained that position, because as you see, time and time again, the city of Wayne, they just outdo themselves every time. So we're going to keep fighting the good fight, obviously. And we're going to be having some more people running along with us. So there'll be a team of people running. Obviously, we need at least 4, preferably 5 people to run, and to eliminate the corruption that's in the city of Wayne. So that way the taxpayers and the fine residents of this city can finally have what they want, which is peace and quiet and lower taxes, and a government that is not adversarial to them, right? But a government that upholds the Constitution, upholds property rights and the residents' rights, their constitutional rights and civil rights. So that's all that we want, right? That's what any, 95% of Americans, that's what they really want. They just want lower taxes and government to leave them the fuck alone. And that's not what's happening. The opposite's happening. And that's why I'm running for mayor 2028. And that's why my wife's running for city council. And some other people we're going to be announcing soon are going to be running. And, you know, it's the only way, unfortunately. It's the only way to fight evil is you got to vote it out of office and then hold it accountable, prosecute it, I guess. You know, that's what the city of Wayne wants to do. But see, the thing is with the city of Wayne is they accuse me of, you know, non-crimes, right? Things that can't even possibly be crimes because they don't exist. They're never codified. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's just incredible to, it's incredible to watch. And then what's even more incredible is watching the 29th and the 35th District Court ratify time and time again these clearly void for vagueness, these clearly fruit of the poisonous tree, these clearly unconstitutional, in violation of the 4th and 14th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, the 6th Amendment, the 8th Amendment, and of course the First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech, right? Because these proceedings were initiated after I went to City Hall. And after I went to City Hall and I voiced my opinion on the record, and so did my wife. And, you know, that you can't do that in the city of Wayne. You know, as Mark Blackwell learned, as Anthony Miller learned, as Christopher Sanders learned, as John Zook Jr. learned, as I have learned, right? You can't protest. You can't speak out. You can't have an opinion that's contrary to the agenda that the city of Wayne pushes, right? You're not allowed to have any difference of opinion. And you're damn sure not allowed to say it, right? If you say it, well then you better hold on for your life, because your life's about to get bumpy. But I'm a renegade, guys, you know. I'll show you the picture at basic training. I'm a renegade, right? And so I obviously respect the Constitution and I respect the rule of law, but I don't follow unlawful or unconstitutional orders. And I damn sure don't ratify them, and I damn sure don't play nice with people that make a mockery of the Constitution of the United States. So, hope this video has been informative. Appreciate you guys' support, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.